Tonight on Paige's Kitchen, breakfast during the holidays, it can really be tough. Some people want to sleep late, other people want to get up early, but everyone wants breakfast. So what are you supposed to do? We're going to make French toast out of something that I know that you see right now sold in all the stores, but you may not have tried. This is Panettone. It is absolutely wonderful. It's Italian, and it tastes somewhat like cake, which it is, but it also tastes like bread. So it's a wonderful kind of a mixture texture-wise of both. So the first thing we're going to do is when you buy one of these, you're going to need to remove the paper. Make sure you do that. Nobody wants any paper with their breakfast. You're going to take this paper off the outside, and then we're going to cut it down. We have numerous ingredients that we're using today, probably most of this that you already have at home. We're using eggs. I have 6 eggs in here, and I went ahead and used a fork and beat them up just a little bit. I have some dried sour cherries here. This is not necessary for this recipe, but I like it in there. I have some chopped pecans that we'll be adding to the French toast right before it comes out of the oven. This is a mixture of both whole milk and cream. Now you can use just whole milk if you like. You can use 2%, but your custard won't be quite as thick. So I just mixed up cream and whole milk. And then I have some really super sparkly sugar that I'll be putting on top to add to that. And then we also have a little vanilla I'll be putting in, some salt and some cinnamon and some orange zest. This is a recipe that you really don't need to worry about measuring everything to be exact. The first thing we're going to do is just take the top off of this. I'm going to cut this down and save these pieces. These will make a nice snack for someone, or actually this morning I took them out. We have some, I call them pet crows outside. I went outside this morning and fed the crows pieces of the panettone. So we're going to cut off the bottom and the top. Why are we doing that? Well, we want to make sure that this French toast is able to really soak in all this egg mixture, and having this crust on there makes that a little bit more difficult. So then we're going to go ahead and cut it in half, and then we're going to cut it in slices. This is a 9 by 13 pan that I went ahead and sprayed some ham in, and then we're going to put these bread slices in here. Now all of this will fit. We're going to layer them in here. Don't mash them down too much. This is really delicate, so you don't want to really smash the bread down there, and it will be too thin and actually won't look that nice. So we'll go ahead and start fitting all these pieces in here. This will bake at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. You're going to be surprised when you see all this custard once I mix it together. I know you're probably going to think, well, that'll never soak all in, but it will. This bread is very porous, and it will soak right in like a big sponge. In addition to when I put the chopped pecans on there right before it's done, if you wanted to have some protein with your breakfast, you could go ahead and have crumbled bacon on there. That would work just as well as the chopped pecans. It's hard sometimes, I think, during the holidays to try to get up and make breakfast. Really, if you are a night person, which we certainly are in this house, it makes it hard to do. So this will make it like a little bit easier for you, and that way they'll have a wonderful breakfast. When someone wakes up in the morning, it will be all done. So we're going to move all this to the side and start to mix this up. Now this is 6 eggs, and again 2 cups of the milk, 1 cup of cream and 1 cup of milk. We're just going to mix these together, whisk them real fast. I don't know if you've made overnight French toast before, but it really is quite delicious, and it's easy to make. All right, we're going to put a little orange zest in here. I like this because it just gives it a little bit more citrus flavor. And of course, citrus this time of the year, this is off our trees here in our yard, is coming in. It just smells like Christmas to me when I smell citrus. Growing up, we always had citrus in our stockings. So I think this reminds me of my grandmother and being at home. I'm not going to measure the cinnamon. I'm just going to go ahead and just put that in there with just a spoon. Again, if you'd like, in addition to the vanilla flavoring, if you'd want to make like an adult version of this, you could add a splash of Grand Marnier in here. It's wonderful to have that flavor in there. Adds an extra little bit of orange. We're just going to put a pinch of salt in here. So This just enhances the flavor a little bit. Just put a splash of vanilla in here, and again, if you notice, I'm just putting these ingredients in here. It's not a lot of rhyme or reason. I don't want you to worry. We've got enough to worry about during the holidays without worrying about this. Now this makes a lot of this custard sauce, but again, you're about to see that it really will soak in. Go ahead and just pour this over it. And we want to make sure that all the bread gets coated. And if you want, maybe about half hour or so after you put this in the fridge, go back and check, and you may want to flip some of the bread slices over. That's perfectly fine to do. And the cherries are down at the bottom, and they're all going to just go on top. Now I know it looks like it's swimming in there right now, which it is, but I want to show you what it looks like after it's been sitting all night. I made one of these last night. And as you can see, all the custard is now soaked in. It looked like that last night. This morning when I took it out, it looks like this. We're going to put this in the oven now for 30 minutes at 350. About 5 minutes before it comes out, I'll sprinkle on those candy pecans. So let's get this baking. Okay. You want to take a look at that. You can see now everything has soaked in. This is about 35 minutes. I went ahead right before, last 5 minutes, went ahead and sprinkled some of that sugar on there, and also put on the pecans. You don't want to put the pecans on too early because, especially since they're candy pecans, those nuts have a tendency sometimes to burn when they're on the top of something, so you didn't want that to happen. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of powdered sugar on here. Now, if you remember the recipe, it didn't have any sugar in there. I don't feel like it really needs it because the panettone is sweet enough on its own, and then by the time that you add your syrup on there, it's sweet enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar on here. Just makes it really pretty. As far as the syrup goes, one thing that you may want to do that makes this really fun for syrup is go ahead and heat your syrup on the stove, and when you heat your syrup, go ahead and add like 1 or 2 pieces of orange rind on there without the pith. Go ahead and put that on there, and while you heat it, and add a cinnamon stick to it. So it gives the syrup just a little extra bit of that orange flavor to it and a little bit extra cinnamon. I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see, the custard has baked up really nice here on the bottom. I'll go ahead and cut a slice of this so you can see what it looks like. And this is going to be probably the easiest breakfast you make all of the holidays. And again, since it's already in the refrigerator overnight, they're going to be set for that next morning. So, as you can see, it's soaked up really nicely. I'm going to add just a little bit of syrup on here. You can use whatever your favorite syrup is. This is actual real maple syrup that Jack's sister sent us from Ohio. So, just a little bit that's on there. And now your breakfast is ready. I know you can do this. Enjoy.